Whew. All right, Seiko versus Casie, our bonus match that's taken place. I'm sorry, bonus match. There you go, Subtle.
Thank you.
I apologize for my transgressions.
Yep.
Literally right before I said that. There, but down below, you can see the pick and ban phase took place. That Divine Shield around a class. It was protected and ineligible for ban, very much in the last week of European Grandmasters fashion. Protect the priest, ban the shaman. That's what we got forward going for us. So Casie with Warrior available, Seiko with Warrior available as well. That makes this a good old-fashioned mirror match, Subtle.
Yes, indeed. And we believe, again, tiebreaker calculations allowing that Casie is locked up in third, Pavel is locked up in fourth, no matter what happens in this series. So Casie will have the advantage between the two of them, or rather, better way to say, Pavel will have the disadvantage being the lowest qualified player going into the actual playoff rounds.
Yep, and so for Seiko here, battling for some pride, get another notch on that record. He has looked much better in the back stretch of this season.
Absolutely.
And that's the Seiko that I think we saw in Season 1, who was dominant early on, was in good form and good practice and executing that technical play to a level that's just so very interesting to me that he can just consistently play cards for tempo and somehow turn that into wins somewhere down the road. I don't get how he always has a million cards in hand. I don't know where they come from. Frankly, if you ask me, I think it's some sort of bug.
Just every time Seiko plays a generation card, it actually gives him one extra card. Just no one's noticed.
Go watch his rogue games.
You're never going to let this one go, are you? He's just shadow stepping his novice engineers. That's all he was doing.
But he wouldn't even acknowledge that he was doing that.
He rocks the priest as we see the clean cut, fresh shave Casie on that lower webcam.
When you said he rocks, I thought you were going to mention the clean cut. Said he shaved for the first time in a while as a way to break a curse, to bring some good luck, to shake things up, to help him change. Casie looks like he's having a great time.
He always does, right up until he doesn't.
Priest versus Warrior to start things off. We saw Bunny Hopper unable to close this series. Let's see if Casie can continue the model in which they've set forth, in which sometimes they do win this game.
Yeah, this Casie build of Warrior is single copy of Plague of Wrath, no Whirlwind, 1 Eternium Rover, 2 Brawls. In terms of the very, very important cards, or the important cards against Priest that you might cut sometimes. Like, yeah, you have 2 Restless Mummies. Those are pretty good against Priest, but you're never cutting one of those. But it's, I do think it's a matchup balance thing. I was talking about this a little bit in the previous series, where I do think this build of Warrior gives up a percentage or two to Priest by not having the, second Plague of Wrath, for example, just to be able to continuously take away board states from the opponent. It's still very, very close to 50-50 in my opinion, though.
Oh, that was the idea I had earlier. I remember now when you mentioned the Plague of Wrath things. It was like, is there ever a merit to play Execute?
Job done.
Maybe.
Just never really thought about it.
Race is playing an Execute in his Highlander Warrior in place of what is a Warpath on like the rank 1 legend list that most of the net decks are coming from. So he has a Brawl and a Execute in his otherwise very aggressive deck. Gives himself a lot of options against Priest.
Just the number of times that I have found myself Plague of Wrathing an Amet.
Yep. Big Execute.
It's way too high.
Yep. Sometimes that card is big Execute.
Sometimes it's just big Shield Slam. Ooh. Warpath. Interesting. I didn't see this. I just would have instantaneously shield blocked and shield slammed. I think this is way better.
If you can kill all the priest minions, kill all the priest's minions.
You can do it while getting a minion in play.
Definitely do that.
The end.
As demonstrated by Kalento with the old Kobold Lackey weaponized Wasp turn. And swing the board.
In the case that Psychopomp comes down, it does not bring back Amit. You have a Dynamatic to kill both. And a nice little 1-2 to chip off that 3-1 if you want. Super Collider looking better to me.
Super Collider does the same thing, but invests a lot of clearing power over the course of the next few turns on this turn. Do like the Super Collider version.
Preserves Dynamatic.
Yeah, exactly. You essentially generate a great deal of invested tempo over 3 turns by having the clearing power of Super Collider loaded up and ready to go. And then on one of those turns, you actually have Super Collider plus Dynomatic to be able to clap back against a really huge board.
And I'll tell you what, when you're getting beat up this badly, Bwonsamdi is a beautiful draw if you're Seiko.
A welcome sight, to say the least. At least allows Seiko to formulate some kind of game plan, but the issue that he might run into is if he starts to now fall behind on board before he even gets to that Bwonsamdi, which is very, very possible. Could be seeing an Armagadillo come down this turn from Casie, in which case he'll feel extremely behind.
Is an afterthought.
Easiest Dynamatic of your life.
Yeah, you sure about that?
Yeah, I want the mummy in hand.
What if you just play 2 Snip Snaps?
Well, then you don't kill a minion.
Ah. What was I just saying about if you can kill a priest minion, do so?
Yeah. It's to a certain point. Once you hit turn 5, yes, you flip that switch on, you'd kill everything. Do not let them have anything. The first couple of turns, sometimes you have to set up for it. It's like literally what Brawl is for, is the plan where you can't check everything.
Yeah.
The minions are strong, you Brawl, reset it, then try to kill everything.
I do think there is a moment where, like, when Priest suddenly lets other decks play proactively, that's where they struggle the most, when there's actually that opportunity for them to just say, well, here's all my minions, like, deal with this idiot, right? Like, that's where Priest really tries to play from behind. But I think particularly there, like, double Snip Snap stacked was very weak to silence coming out. Whereas Split Snap in that position just kind of let the Neverset bump and heal if there was Nausea Cleric or whatever in hand.
But just look how beautiful
it just wasn't even a good opportunity. So being able to magnetize this way and get immediate value out of it behind the Dynomatic does just make a lot more sense. And now he's set up to essentially just tempo through the Bwonsamdi and start pushing. If he even wants to. Face damage is just absolutely not how you win this matchup. So sometimes you just choose to do 0 of it.
That's what the mummy's for.
Yeah.
6 1-drops, by the way. The full Monty.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Ooh. That is an extremely timely pickup. I am curious here if you're ever expending a Super Collider charge. I was just thinking this. I was like, wait a minute, I want this Snip Snap alive. I just drew a Dr. Boom.
Casie is going to ramp up the aggression. You will see a lot of positions where Control Warriors do not attack the opponent because they feel like aggression is not how they're winning, and that just gives them the optimal target to heal for a Light Warden to come down. But in this spot, 7 is a big number, and Casie just has pressure here.
Yeah. Pressuring Seiko means limiting his time, which means quicker plays from Seiko, which means more opportunity for Brawl.
And that Brawl in hand for Casie is one of the big reasons why he chooses to expend a Super Collider charge there over instead of bursting open one of his minions, because now if he feels like he has to Brawl, he can Brawl with 2 Death Rattle minions in play, whereas if he throws one of these into the Bwonsamdi, yes, he has another Super Collider charge, but his Brawl is sometimes a lot weaker. Thank you.
Quickly.
Oh boy.
Let the pain speak to me.
In the light's name.
So how does this threaten across the board? 7 to 14 to 28? So if a 3 health minion lives, from a perspective of Power Word Shield, how much damage does Seiko threaten? Like if you have both Beaming Sidekicks, both Power Word Shields, Divines, that would be 3 to 5 to 7 to 9 to 11. Yeah, it's 40.
It's 11 4 times.
So Casie, what that would mean then is if it's an 8, it would be 8 to 16 to 32. So you can live if the 2 health minions in play. You cannot live if the 3 health minions in play and the full suite of buffs.
If they have absolutely everything.
Yes. So, but that being said, that's what I'm expecting Casie to do, is actually play around everything. Like, it feels so hard to lose from this point.
How many cards is that? 2 you know he does have, and then it's power, power, divine, divine, and a flipper. So 5 more cards. You know 1 more of those cards is not one of those, so there is currently 5 other slots, now 6 other slots, and 7 other slots on the next turn that could be those cards. Yeah, alright, very reasonable. Play around all of it, why not?
Light the fuses!
Just don't see how you lose.
Yep.
I think the way he lost was by falling into a trap, like, I'll just kill enough.
Yeah.
I'll just play this boom, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
My favorite is that the power word shield draw is right off the bat, too. To give you any indicator of whether or not Casie needed to do that. So, I think Seiko did the best setup he could. I think he was aggressive. I think he set up a board where Casie had a trap in case he did not take care of everything. And I think now that possibility has perhaps slipped away.
The Warpath turn, the Warpath Shield Slam turn was crucial for Casie because he actually swung. He swung by a factor of a 1-2 in play over his opponent, but that is a big deal. Like, you know, clear your opponent's board with just Shield Block, Shield Slam, and then they play their next minion. Big difference if you've already got 1 minion ahead of the play at that point.
Yep.
So just that little mechanical catch of just seeing the slightly better play. Completely flips this on its head.
In the light's name.
Light is enough.
Don't play that one first.
We've seen a throw or 2 in Grandmasters. that one might just top the list. Just rips it. Oh, a Plague of Wrath. Just throws it out there.
That's the Uncle Rico size throw. It's well over those mountains.
Yeah. So, full clear again?
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
What now?
Save the best for last!
One slightly icky trade, 2 extremely good value trades, a Devastator,
Belongs in a museum.
lethal being threatened more or less. There's that 10, 17, 18, 19 in play.
As far as Casey's current deck list is concerned, that would limit it to exactly Ziliax. But the real lethal is on your minions.
The real lethal is the friends we made along the way.
That's deep. Wow. This was a wonderful game, actually, on both sides. Like, I'm thinking about the whole scope of the game. Just everything I've seen looked spot on.
I don't really have any improvements to suggest either, yeah.
I don't even have any questions. I think it's just spot on.
Hey, I got you, friend.
All in.
Are you going to wait for the next minion to stick? Nope. Me either.
Oh, a 236 injured minion, you say? Casie was so close to just ripping that and not thinking about it, and then he just went, all right, I'll have a quick think about it. Then I'll rip it and not think about it.
Yep. That was... Wow, that was kind of cool, actually. For the first time, I think, ever in my life, I have 0 questions about a game.
Yeah, those 2 guys, right there. Left Admirable speechless.
I saw a
Very nice.
priest game that I enjoyed, and it wasn't because they lost, it was because every single thing that was done made perfect sense.
That was going to be my talking point. Like, I'm less surprised that you don't have anything to question or complain about, and more surprised that you're so enthusiastic about that game of Priest you just watched.
But that was beautiful.
Is all that practice on your secret That's Chadmirable account just secretly giving you a soft spot for Priest?
It's not so much of a secret if you continuously bring it up. Like, when I bring it up, I know that there's people who aren't paying attention. I can feel it. I can sense it. It's a deep, intuitive precognition that ignites inside of me, and I know it's going by so fast that no one will remember it.
I'd like to remind you that you revealed that information and therefore opened the floodgates for mockery.
Sometimes I enjoy being teased. Seriously, though, that was wonderful. That was just pure form, both of them. How do you top that?
It's interesting because, like, I think both players played it really well, but actually because of that, Seiko didn't exactly have the nuts. Like, Bonsamdi drawing 6 cards looks incredible, but what that means is that you didn't have any of those cards on turn 1, where they can do, like, insane things with Circle of Healings and Nephset Ritualists and big buffs and pushing pressure early. So because he had a slow start, and because Casie navigated it so well and found just the slightly superior technical lines that put him in a great position, it just kind of looked like a one-sided massacre from Casey's perspective. But it was still very, very engaging, very interesting to watch.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you do all the right things and it still doesn't end right. In fact, that's a lot of games of Hearthstone and Grandmasters.
Yep.
Wow, that's just a good standout for me. All right, well, we're going to a break, and when we come back, we're jumping back into our 6th and final match here for the regular season. Seiko versus Casie. Casie up a game. We got Americas afterwards, so stay tuned. There's plenty of Hearthstone.
The shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tomb, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. There should be scorching deserts, adventure, monster of narcissism. High stakes think annihilation, obliteration of civilization. Now is the time to be brave. Evil's come to enslave, but this league's gonna save. Oh no!
My name is Sam Braithwaite, and I'm the Senior Global Franchise Lead for Hearthstone Esports. This event was especially cool because it takes place right after the brand new expansion, Rise of Shadows. Historically in Hearthstone Esports, we do our big events like this towards the end of an expansion cycle, but we really wanted to shake things up and really showcase that not only is the world champion the person who can pilot the best decks, but also the person who, when presented with a brand new game, can put together the best decks leading into the World Championship. Cheers to you guys, the sold-out crowd here for the HCT 2019 World Championship.
Welcome back to 2019 HCE World Championship.
We've had a lot of fun games, and we're looking forward to the grand finals. Showdown. Viper versus Hunter Race. Only one can be the champion. Oh, come on!
Match be dead.
Wacko pick a Vis coming out from Hunter Race.
It's now or never. Archvillain reform.
Okay! In a completely solved game, Hunter Race finds a way to maximize his chances. It's been a wonderful journey throughout the past few years of the Hearthstone Championship Tour, where stars were made and dreams came true.
Amidst our last match here for the regular season for Hearthstone Grandmasters in Europe. Playoffs next week. I'm That's Admirable, joined by Sottle, and we are right now in Seiko versus Casie. Casie has a 1-0 lead, and just a pretty cleanly played game on both sides, and Seiko having to go back to the drawing board and figure out how he's going to take over Casie in this one. He's got to win 2 straight.
Yep, and because Casie picked up the win with the non-priest in the opener, he now has the potentially advantageous position of being able to queue priest into a couple of spots. Also has his druid available, which we have been, theorizing, or at least saying that their theory is that they gain edge in the mirror by having the Chef Nomi, but we haven't seen that be the case. We've been able to see the other players like engineer spots where that Nomi hasn't been a factor. But I was about to say, yeah, I predict that what we're going to see here is a priest mirror. Casie going second, has 2 of the highest win rate cards, Northshire Cleric and Injured Tolvir.
These hands are good. 1 silence on each side. Yep. All right, well, good luck to both of you. I have no idea how this one pans out.
3 keep Warden power. Okay, yeah, I'm on board. Going first. Be proactive. Things to do on first of the 2 turns. That's the most important thing. Standard opener. See a Light Warden. Contest it with a Tolvir. Not an interaction that you often lose.
That's it. I'm putting Abusive Sergeant in this deck.
This matchup, you take the sick value trades, and every other matchup, you Abusive Sergeant, then you topsy-turvy and just get that in the hell.
2 weeks later, it's gone from the 8th best to the best deck.
Nice.
Yeah, not much you can do about that, Spy. You gotta just stare down the Tolvir. Oh my gosh.
Is someone injured? In the light's name.
Yeah, all the heavy hitters have come out to play in this one. But this Inner Fire might just end up being the big kick-up.
Yeah, Seiko gets first serve here, and that's really, I think, one of the more dangerous things. Now, he wanted to have the Light Warden get healed up after this. He can't do that.
Right. Again, this is exactly the same position that I think Swids found himself in the series against Hunter Ace, where Casie plays the double punish for the heal, because the heal is so potentially bad for him if he doesn't do so. If it's just draw 1 card, or if it's just buff a Light Warden,
justifiable.
Then Seiko will probably just still go ahead and do it, because it's just so powerful for him in this spot.
I must consider.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you Inner Fire. I really don't know what to do afterwards, though. Like, it's some pretty scary territory.
Not too quickly.
Nothing? I think you just do nothing.
It's a 6 health Light Warden that you still can't really interact with. Even if you heal up the Light Warden, you're only dealing 4 with your board. It will cost you your entire board position to trade into it anyway. Unless he taunts out again, he does lose, essentially, Seiko's choosing of one of these minions on the following turn.
Yeah, that's how it feels. trying to think of like the worst things that happened to you in this spot in Casey's position. And they all feel like if you don't protect the Northshire Cleric, what that means is you have to develop board presence to fight against it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the taunt didn't come down again.
I think it's because he has the second Cleric, right?
Maybe, but it does, like, for this one turn, reduce the punish for Seiko being able to heal things. Whereas if the Tolvir comes down, it's a big impact for Casie.
I think the attack matters.
The 4 attack minion, you mean specifically?
Yeah, and the reason I'm thinking it's mattering is like in instances where Seiko's able to buff again, or when he has 2/3, it means you're able to actually punch through it in some regard and get payoffs for it as well. You also have a heal target directly set.
That's my biggest upside to this play, is that you play an injured minion that your opponent doesn't kill. Because if you play a Tolvir, that's an injured minion they're going to kill because they have to, because it has Taunt. So by essentially forcing them to kill the Cleric, because you gave them the opportunity to kill a Cleric, so of course they kill it, you then have this injured Blade Master in play that you can heal up and take a trade if you're choosing.
So because of that, Seiko loads the other Light Warden down, and we're back to square one. So for Casie now, it's how dangerous is an unchecked injured Blade Master, I feel. Because your attacks here are fantastic.
They are wonderful attacks. I want a 2/6 and a 4/7 this turn.
There we go.
Yep, Casie agrees.
Is enough.
Wow, that's super strong. All right, well, I mean, they both had good hands. I think Seiko's panned out really terribly with the 2 circles drawn.
Yeah, Circle of Healing is just about the worst card in the matchup in almost any realistic pan out, because the cards that your opponent is going to mulligan for are injured Tolvir, Light Wardens, Northshire Clerics, and buffs. If they have any of those cards, you really can't cast Circle of Healing, right? Like, Seiko has done very well here to find a position where Circle of Healing is castable.
Wow, that's super sick. I actually didn't see that.
Now it's just a good old-fashioned tempo battle.
Just go face, yes!
What are you going to do? Put 6 damage into a 4/7?
Well, it's turned into like a game of Hearthstone where things happen. It's like you took the lead, you can't trade your opponent's minions, hit him in the face. Like, so much of this matchup is like tiptoeing around and like using all these tricks and trying to get control over the...
That's the fun
Punch
part!
him!
That's the fun part!
No, punch him!
Okay. Second circle here. After just giving a little speech about how bad the card is, and it is, I stand by it. This second one can end up being very effective.
Yes, but for efficiency's sake, do you trade over the 4/7 and then circle to leave your opponent with a 4/7 and 2/6, or do you inefficiently trade over the 4/5 and then Circle of Healing to give your opponent a 4/7 and a 2/6?
You do the thing that makes you feel better, because that's the only difference. Hey, feelings are important.
Alternatively, you can punch the 2/6. Now use the circle. Ah. All right. That's pretty excellent.
Oh, looks like we might have some spectator issues on Casey's side here. Floating Power Word Shield. Are we going to see these cards get drawn? No, we are not. Yeah, we've got a spectator bug on Casey's side. Hopefully we will get that fixed as soon as possible, which seems about now. No, we got it. We got it. We're fine.
Yeah.
We solved it.
You fixed it. That was good. High Priest Summit was the draw, of course, back in the game. Yatata!
Ooh, Topsy-Turvy is actually kind of interesting this turn. Yep, finds himself the value trade with it. 4/7 into 5/4. Nicely done. And now Circle of Healing is back to being terrible again.
This was a weird battle that took place.
Looks like Casie has got himself over the line. Again, we believe that the result did not matter here and that he was guaranteed third and Pavel was guaranteed fourth. But certainly going out with a win makes things very, very simple on himself and honestly gives himself a very respectable looking record at the end of the season with an 8-6. He's a heck of a player. Glad he's getting the opportunity to show it. And I think, honestly, him and his practice group, Casie, Bunny Hopper, and so on, I think they've done a great deal in terms of running the metagame in Grandmasters, in terms of just innovations, lineups, pick orders, tech cards. I think they've done a lot of the best work in terms of putting together lineups and coming up with strategies.
Yeah, I think that is truly the demonstration of
See, you claim to hate Priest, but you get so excited every time. I don't know.
Well, it's so powerful. I like powerful things. Can't wait for Ragnaros. It's just deflated after one somebody the Acolyte.
Yeah. Seiko's draw did not quite have the same amount of theater to it.
Yep. What's the point?
I see a dark future.
Hey, I got you, friend.
And that's about going to wrap it up. There is no way for Seiko to recover from that one. Concedes. And that's the outcome. Casie finishes 8-6 record with a 2-0 victory over Seiko in this one. Honestly, that was some very, very tactical mid-game play on both sides. And it just happened to be as soon as one player got a substantial lead from it, it was Casie, and he was able to capitalize with the rest of the cards he had.
Yeah, a couple of really, really key turns there. The turn that for at least half of it, I would have been baited into thinking Injured Tolvir, where Casie went Injured Blade Master instead, was crucial because that gave him powerful trades on the following turn. Then how he capitalized on that, recognizing that he had that momentary window, using that momentary window to push maximum tempo, 2-6 and 4-7 in play. That was the moment that Seiko didn't really recover from. And remember that that was a full kept hand from Seiko, so he was very happy with his opener. He full kept it. He thought he was in good position there, and Casie was able to, from the unfavorable position of going second, navigate back against it with some very, very nice play. I think I almost certainly would have got baited into playing the 2-6 on that previous turn and potentially lost the game because of it.
All right, let's hear from Casie himself. Casie, can you hear us?
Yes. Hey, guys.
Hello, and congratulations on this one. You've finished in the playoffs now. You finished with an 8-6 record, and you finished with a clean shave. What prompted that?
Like last time I actually did well. I qualified for champs in 2016. It was the last time I clean shaved, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make playoffs now. I don't gonna drop out now at 5th place. Let's try my luck. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna win playoffs next week.
Ooh.
Seems good to me. So we were talking last night. Obviously, you messaged me to fill you in on all the playoff permutations and tiebreakers and stuff. I imagine you were kind of nervous going into this, even though you were very, very, very favored to make playoffs at the start of the day. How much of a weight off your shoulder was it when Boston just loses the first match of the day and everything becomes so much simpler?
Bunny was like, okay, now I don't have to screw you over if I win. So now we're just going to play some fun games of Hearthstone. Long time ago since we did this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's just win this. Like, it would have been the first time that I wanted Bunny Hopper to lose. And yeah, I was just super happy. And I'm even going into this match, I was still kind of nervous. Every time we have a break between game 1 and game 2, I'm always like, no, stop, calm down. But then as soon as the game starts, I'm in my zone and just play my game.
That's not what you said to me last night. Last night you said, "Oh, I'm just rooting against Bunny Hopper as usual." Come on. You play the nice guy on camera, Casie, but I'm here to expose you as the mean guy that you are.
That's not true.
Well, what is true is that you finished with an 8-6 record, and You've expressed some frustrations throughout the season. Obviously, losing is something that I think has ignited that passion inside of you to win more than just about anything else. And now finishing with 8-6 in this division, are you proud of that record for yourself? Do you hold that in a big regard for you?
I am proud of myself and of Bunny Hopper, Radu, and Thijs that we all, Radu went back from 1-6. Thijs is also now in playoffs. He was also in a pretty bad spot. Our whole practice group has been crushing it this season. I'm super happy. And we gonna come even back stronger for Bucharest and for next season.
How long has Thijs been practicing with you guys? Because I always just heard it as like you, Seiko, and Radu was the group that was working together.
Seiko, because he was in the same group, we were like, this is a little bit too many people. Like, we're gonna face each other every second or every third week.
Right.
And then Thijs always practiced together with Radu. So as soon as Radu contacted me, he's like, I also prepare with Thijs. Do we have a problem talking to Thijs? No, Thijs is a nice guy. Let's go. And then, yeah, like Thijs was the only one that liked Shabala Paladin, so that was the only difference. But we have been doing well this season, and I'm super proud of all of us.
Nice.
Well, that's good to hear, Casie. You clinched a playoff record earlier today with that Boston match, and you finished at 8-6. I think it's a fantastic record versus the division you were up against, and you've always demonstrated some exemplary play. So congratulations on your win, and we'll see you in playoffs next week.
Yep. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
That's a good practice group.
I will clarify, he did say that to me last night, but he was very clearly joking. He, of course, always roots for Bunny Hopper, a good friend of his, practice partner of his, and I think that really goes to speak to what I was speaking to, which they are very proud of that group as a whole. And honestly, like I am too, I think they have done a lot of work, and it has paid off just in terms of the results. You look at Thijs making playoffs, Bunny Hopper being near the top of the group, Casie making playoffs, Radu turning around the second half of the season and having a fantastic run back up to safety. And I think a lot of that has come down to that practice group and the work that they put in to just find those small edges with the way decks are built, the anti-paladin druid build that they put together, even their thoughts on Q order and different bans and protections. It does seem to be working out for them. They do seem to have the best handle between them on exactly how this format works in Grandmasters right now.
Indeed. Very well said. Very well said to cap off this day. Let's take a look at the schedule and see exactly what took place here on Superlative Sunday. That's right, super generic. It is outside gamers. If you were near the middle column, it was not a good day. If you were on the outside, however, you were picking up wins.
Yes, indeed, and things got solved very rapidly as Boston's loss to Fino simplified all of the tiebreaker calculations that I was doing last night. Boston needed to win to bring any of those into play. That loss for him sent Pavel and Casie through to the playoffs in their division. Pavel then lost to Jarla, which means Casie and Pavel were locked up in that order in third and fourth. And then basically the only thing we had left to resolve from that point was the heartbreak of relegation between Swids and Orange. Swids plays against Orange's good friend, practice partner, long-time cohort Hunter Ace. Hunter Ace defending the honor of Orange, but it was Swids, the man with the power in his own hands, who was able to take a 2-0 season record over Hunter Ace, and he survives narrowly. Orange relegated in a 4-way tie at the bottom of Division A.
You hate to see it, but it's got to be someone. It's the brutality of competition where someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. Fino came to that fate as well on the other side just a couple days ago as we rolled into this week. But we celebrate winners here as well. And so those playoff spots now in that top four, those are locked for next week. Hunter Ace, 9-5 is the record where he stands. And so Jarla stands alone at the top, 10-4 to top the regular season in Hearthstone Grandmasters.
Yeah, and I'm honestly not sure what Frozen's results were this weekend in Americas, or whether he still has one to play, but they were neck and neck in terms of highest number of total match wins in Grandmasters, were Hunter Ace and Frozen going into this week. So Hunter Ace, having picked up another 0-2 week, might have just conceded that position to Frozen as well as the winningest player across all regions.
Indeed. Bunny Hopper, pick up a little bit of a losing streak here at the end to finish at 8-6. Casie matches him as well. I wouldn't have it any other way, I think, if I had to draw the storyline myself. Pavel, 7-7. And Board Control narrowly missing out on those tiebreakers at 7-7 as well. I kind of look at the names that are sitting at the 7-7 mark, and one of the things that always pops into my head is the PNC victory in Americas in Season 1, where he was at the 7-7 record and then just came back and tore through everything and won the whole thing.
Yep, sometimes it's good enough. You know, you just have to do enough to have one of the best records in the group to put yourselves in contention. And players that find themselves on that bubble there with those 7-7, 6-8 records, they'll be looking at little moments, little one-off decisions, little one games back and forth. Bor said it perfectly, right? A couple of games is the difference between sitting at the top of that league and sitting down in the relegation position and just not getting to be here for Season 3.
All right. Well, that sets the stage for that. Playoffs coming next week, and I can't wait to see it. Before we transition over to the Americas, though, we want to show our appreciation for fellow caster TJ in this one. He's going to be taking a quick break after this week, and TJ does a lot to help out us as the talent, to help out the players, and just a lot for Hearthstone Esports in general. And so we want to send him off with a little gift and some thanks and get some words from him as we bring him and Dan up here to get a moment for this, because TJ, we've got something for you, buddy.
Take a seat, my friend. What did you just sit on?
Headset, perhaps?
Why is this chair so high?
I don't know.
I'm looking
Kind of
up.
like the end of a Mario Party game where it shows the increasing standings of who gets the most gold coins.
Yeah, me standing at the bottom of that as it normally would.
I'm
TJ,
just sat here
yes.
looking up to Frodan like I've been doing my whole career. Oh, unlucky.
We're going to miss you for the end of this season, bud.
I'll miss you guys too.
Sorry, I just for people who we aren't really prepared for 4 commentators to go into the screen. This is like all the way down there. So,
well, Dan's gift for you perhaps not as good as what everyone here wanted to get you. This is from everybody that's involved with this, TJ.
Oh man, thank you so much, guys. Am I gonna get banned for branding on stream?
Turn it around.
Just hold it backwards. You'll be fine.
There we go.
Oh, exposed.
It's a package of snacks. My all-time favorite thing in the entire world.
We tried to go with the cash basket, but it wasn't available. We went with the next best.
Ooh, a cash basket. My second all-time favorite thing in the world.
And a nice rounded $36.40 in it. Yeah.
This is very nice, guys. I thank you a lot for this. And I wish I could be here for the last couple weeks in Bucharest and BlizzCon, but I know that you guys will do a great job without me. I'm not that important.
Yes, you are.
I'm a little bit important, but I'm not that important.
TJ's
Yes,
gonna
you
make me
are.
cry now.
TJ, you're just as important. We're not supposed to relegate casters, TJ. You clearly got the wrong message.
And for the people out there who are like, what's happening to TJ? I did make a post like right now.
Oh, did
like
you?
30
Okay.
minutes. Well, at the time of the stream, like 35, 40 minutes ago, that explains kind of what's going on and why I'm not going to be here for the last few weeks. So go there and see if you're curious. For those,
I'm retweeting it right now because you posted it 4 minutes ago.
for those who aren't curious, just assume that I've gotten relegated as well.
Well, we wish you all the best, TJ, and hope you can come back as soon as possible because it won't be the same without you.
Thank you.
Yes, don't make me cast warrior mirrors by myself, man.
We've had a worry mirror. Well, I guess Sottle and I had a worry mirror when we cast last week. But they're few and far between now.
Well, all right.
Before I get emotional, we need to change the subject to something Hearthstone related.
Yeah, well, that's exactly.
What's up with Admirable's tie?
He's worn this tie and shirt combination for like weeks. No, it was in the other one. It was the.
There's multiple tie.
You're
and shirt
not supposed to wear
combinations.
too much patterns at the same time. It's very clashing.
Last time that I can't say it, it's branding. You gave me an example, and long story short, I don't know. We're signing off the show. These two chuckleheads are the ones going to be casting. TJ, I'm going to miss you, bud. It's going to be tough without you. I'm already crying about this. Whew. All right. So with that, we're done with Europe for the regular season. It's playoffs times next week. We capped it off with 6 matches in pretty spectacular fashion and a lot of drama with it. So for everyone here in production, for myself and for Sottle, we are done with Europe, but we got 5 more matches of Hearthstone to play. It's going to be TJ, it's going to be Frodan that are bringing you the action. Stay tuned. We cap off the regular season tonight.
I like your tie, by the way.